rendered to be adverse. Why do you think you should be trusted to manage public resources?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute and with my team members, we've been doing our best to provide financial statements as required. But given the circumstances, some of the issues have not been supported. So the auditors have come up with that opinion due to unsupported transactions. But in the preparation of the accounts, we have done our best.
When you sign off the financial statements and you have numbers in that financial statement, where do the numbers come from? Aren't they supposed to come from supporting schedules and payment details?
Thank you, Chair. They do. They come from IFMIS, they come from the sectors. But at the point the auditor comes to verify these things, some of these things are not provided by the sectors. That is the main problem.
So why would you report something that is not supported?
We report as per the transactions recorded in our books, in our IFMIS system. But the actual documentation, sometimes to support these transactions, is not availed to the auditors.
Whose responsibility is it to avail them?
It is the responsibility of Finance and County Treasury to avail them from the sectors. So the sector accountants and the chief officers of the sectors, we are tasked with compiling the reports. So we require the sectors to support us, to give us the documentation.
Why are you required to sign these financial statements?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute, as a qualified accountant, that is why I signed these financial statements and also as a holder of that office.
What does your signature mean on these financial statements?
Yes, yes, Chair.
So I want you to say it. What does your signature mean?
We take responsibility.
So you can't tell us about sector accountants. You can't tell us about other people. It is you as a professional who must take responsibility. And if you do not agree with the numbers they are giving you, you do not sign. Because as a professional, you cannot sign something that is not accurate. Why should we not refer you to the Institute for disciplinary action alongside the others who have gotten adverse opinions?
Thank you, Chair. As I said before, as a sector, as the finance sector and the county treasury, we compile the figures from sectors, from the state, from the IFMIS, and our vote books. Then we demand the supporting schedules from the sectors. And the best we get is what we prepare for the auditors to look at.
You are accounting like IBC,
yeah,
where Chebukati signs things at Bomas, then he says, go and blame the returning officer in the county. That's a sham we have seen in our elections. We cannot accept that from professionals.
Can I ask, Chair, you spoke of circumstances. Which years have you signed?
2021 and 2022.
What circumstances were prevailing at that time that would make you sign documents that would put you in problems with my chair?
When we prepare these financial statements, Chair, we prepare them with the best information we have received from sectors. As County Treasury, we compile the statements from all sectors.
So if every department brings you documents that you
Yes.
can clearly see forgeries, they don't make sense, what is your responsibility as a person who signs off on those accounts?
Thank you, Chair. Our responsibility is to confirm the information we get from sectors. And what we have confirmed is what we put on the financial statements.
So everything there you have confirmed?
From the sectors, yes.
You sounded like Chebukati.
Excuse me, Chair.
I can actually see his face, Chair.
Yeah. Chair, for me, this is what is wrong with our systems. This is wrong. This is the reason why devolution is dying. You ain't brave enough not to do your job. You ain't brave enough to stand up to the stealing that goes on. All right? The governor was not there. You guys were the custodians. Sasa umebeba mkia. That is where we are. And we are not going to fall back on these issues. Because you can't bring documents here which mean nothing to us. And then you assume all of us are dunderheads. We know nothing, we see nothing. Who are you protecting? This is where we are. We are really feeling frustrated. And yet you look like you know what you're doing. You sound like you are well schooled. Imagine, I just feel like you throw away the water with the baby.
Senator Cherarke.
Maybe, Auditor General, you have finished 22-23. How does it look like through the chair? 22-23?
What was the opinion?
Chair, the opinion is adverse.
Again.
And again, it's the gracious lady who signed the financial statements?
No, Chair.
Who signed this time round? Governor, you may want to tell us who signed the financial statements for 22-23?
Joseph Gadiaka.
We are going to crack very hard on professionals who have the responsibility of doing the right thing. And they don't do the right thing and they assume it's business as usual.
Yeah,
you have seen what has happened in your county assembly, and we are seeing the same kind of situation in the county executive. And again, Governor, he does not have to take the Senate to talk to your staff. I mean, you should shield them by making sure that you take administrative action or training, so that when you come here, you are telling us, you know, we had some problems, but I've already asked the Treasury to train my people, and so there's going to be an improvement. But we are not going to allow them to hide behind the governors. If you've got a professional responsibility, accounting, HR, procurement, we shall come for you directly through your professional body.
Can I?
Chair, it is not finished. Maybe before the governor speaks, Madam Mother Wambugu, you are aware if this was a private sector, this has to have formed the ground for your sacking or firing from the entity. Are you aware when you get adverse? I think it's only in public sector where you are rewarded. Are you aware of the implication of adverse opinion?
I am, Senator.
Yeah?
I am aware, Senator.
Okay.
Chair.
Governor, what are you doing, you know, internally? You've had disclaimers since the onset of devolution, and then it has gone to adverse opinions, and your first year in office, it's still an adverse opinion. What are you doing? What's the conversation on capacity?
Chair, thank you. Thank you. Chair, this is why I am the governor of Nairobi now. From 2013 to 2018, 13-14 financial year, 14-15, 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, and 18-19, Nairobi County got disclaimer, opinion. Yeah? That, you know, it was just terrible, completely. And you remember this is coming from the council, then the first county government. So 13-14 to 18-19 was disclaimer. From 19-20 up until now, it has been adverse. The things were, and that is why we took the bull by the horns to go for this position, you know, to say, okay, look, what is the systemic problem? For you to have an adverse opinion, there are many things that are carried forward over the years. The story on pending bills will always be in every audit report. You know, there are things that are carried along that you need to find closure with the Office of the Auditor General for it to move. In fact, it is in this time that Nairobi has gotten its first ever qualified opinion on anything. That is the liquor, the alcoholic drinks, the liquor board. The report for 2023 is qualified. Chair, those are the improvements that we are making in the city. You can't imagine that would have come in after 6 years of disclaimer and then adverse, that I would just come and wave a magic wand and suddenly it becomes qualified. The improvements we're making, for instance, I've told you about the if misusers that we were having. I've told you about e-procurement. You know, the using the revenue reporting modules that are on IFMIS, modules that have never been used. If you have time, we can take you through exactly what we are doing to improve, to make sure now the next financial year becomes better. Of course, the first one, when you get in, you find it's the same people doing the same things, carrying on the same issues. Those changes are made as you progress. The chief officer, for instance, became chief officer in February of 2002-2003 financial year. You know, there was a chief officer before that. There was an entire structure before that. We've been doing trainings. We are talking to these professionals. We're paying for them the continuous professional development. So I think in a matter of time, you know, because it is one thing to really want it to change immediately, but the practicality of it, the magnitude of issues that we deal with in the county, you know, and I would even allow my chief officer to speak about some of the improvements we're making. It takes more than 19 months, Chair. And I'm sure even the next audit will start looking better. If we already moved qualified, by the time we're done, we will have an unqualified report, Chair, possibly even in the next 2 financial years. I'm the one who proposed, Chair, something that also the Auditor General took up. Yeah, the reporting matrix on implementation of audit requirements. And they took it up and said, look, this is a template that they want to actually have counties developing. Because the reason for audit is to improve systems. The reason for audit is to see where there are loopholes that could be used by those with, you know, bad intentions, and how you close those audits, whether it's a system audit, the financial audit. And that is why I said that matrix for implementation of audit proposals needs to be filled in internally by ourselves. Before I came in, Chair, even the internal audit committee was not there. I was able to constitute it. I was able to resource the office of internal audit. They were not being listened to. In fact, many of them, when they came to my office, they said it is their first time to enter that office. These are people who've been there from the time they were mayors. They've been there.
We had said that issues to do with legal pending bills, issues to do with the 11 billion to NMS, we will have to call for a separate sitting. There could be a few issues here where we'll take the written responses, but there are some 2 projects here. I think let's go to the project on the project.
Excuse me, Chair.
12 point.
Identified at the basement of main city hall. The 3 machines are, as had been pointed out, offset printing machine.
Written, your management response first.
The 3 machines are offset printing machine, guillotine.
Before installation, so we.
Advertisement was done on 18th of March. Can you do advertisement before you have done actually, without a procurement plan?
Actually, Chair, it is criminal to.
I'll confirm, Chair. I'll confirm, Chair, because it was given, but I don't have the information at now.
Are you the head of supply chain?
I'm the head of supply chain.
Are you a member of the institute?
I'm the member
supply chain managers.
Yes, Chair.
So the same concern about professional responsibility that we put to the member of ISPAC applies to you. Are you aware of the management response that is before the Senate?
No, Chair.
Now, Governor, why did you call troops who don't even know which direction to shoot?
No,
End up shooting you in the back.
And
Chair.
I think the last, is it the last line of the paragraph on the audit query is very clear, because the question is feasibility study and user requisition and specification was not carried out before initiation of the purchase. What they should have done is to provide that information, according to me. I don't know. Yeah?
Yeah.
And again, just to give us what has been bought, you know, so that we are sure those things were bought. We don't even know whether those things are bought or not, or rather delivered.
We are dealing with 51 million Kenya shillings, so it's not pocket change.
I think this for me should be one of the most embarrassing things I've ever had. you know you live in a bed sitter and you go and buy a 6x6 bed. Then when you get to the door, the bed cannot fit. Then you advertise a tender to demolish one of the walls so that the bed can fit.
Maybe
I think it is very embarrassing.
It's terrible.
And Governor,
that is why I invite to be governor, to sort out such things.
yes, but you're,
This
you're,
was the year 16, 17.
It's still a problem.
Chair, if
It's
you allow
even
me to
getting
complete.
worse.
How?
Senator Sifuna.
Your officer back there, Governor, is actually adding insult to injury. That you can get into advertisement of a tender before you have a budget and you know how much money it is.
No.
He cannot be in charge of supply chain management, and he doesn't know this is something that has closed on 14th of April is when?
Possibly
That's
he
2
didn't
weeks
look
ago.
at the specific procurement.
Yes, and there's a reason.
Procurement is
There's a reason why we are.
Order, Governor. Allow the senator to.
There's a reason why we're asking that. You will find even more absurdity when you realize the project, the cost of demolishing City Hall to fit these machines is twice the amount of the machines, the value of the machines. That's why we ask this question.
It might even bring City Hall down.
Is that a statement of fact, Chair?
I said you might find. In the absence of that document from your director there, we don't know how much money it is.
It's, you know, if you give him time, he can actually just get it from the procurement officer in that sector. Procurement is decentralized to the sectors. What I know is that it's around 2.5 million shillings that we're talking
Who
about.
signed this management response, Governor? I can see the signature of Asha Abdi.
Yes.
Is Asha Abdi in the room?
Yes, Chair. Present.
So, Asha Abdi, are you the one? Are you responsible for this management response?
Yes, I have submitted.
Of course, it is a governor's response, but you're the one who put it together.
Yes.
What are you telling us here?
Chair, maybe I can just shed light on this. Procurement is currently decentralized at the county. Requisitions are done by the sectors. We have fully implemented e-procurement end to end, and therefore the user department actually carries that function from the point of requisition to contract management. So could be that's why the director.
Yes, there is decentralization, but
yes.
What's the point of convergence as far as the PFM is concerned?
The director supply chain management.
Yes, so you cannot run away from that responsibility. Where you delegate duties, responsibility still remains. Accountability, and is it accountability or responsibility? Remains at the center. So tell us, you have spent 51 million to buy a printing press in 2016, 2017. Perhaps some of you were not in the county government. What are you doing to make this thing work?
So if I can answer the question, one, we do not do any advertisement unless there's a budget provision for it, simply because if you're doing e-procurement, then there's no way you can advertise for a project without a budget. So the budget for this project is actually 2.5 million. It is at initial stages of procurement. Advertisement was actually done on 8th of April and closed on 14th April. We are yet to close on this tender, but at least the procurement process has started to ensure that these machines are actually put to use because the services are required by the county.
What was the intended objective of this? Of this machine?
The printing machines?
Yes.
Printing.
Chair, if I can...
Sorry, yeah, just explain. The amount of money spent.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's a value for money question.
Actually, it's a value for money question. And I believe the thought behind this was to ensure that the county minimizes its recurrent expenditure on printing. From experience, every sector was actually outsourcing for printing services and spending quite colossal amounts of money to suppliers, while these services could easily have been provided in-house. So that is the reason behind.
I have an indication of how much we spend every year on printing services.
I don't have that information at the moment, but we can have it availed, Senator Sisi.
Why must it be only at the basement and not in any of your other county government facilities?
there is availability of space at the City Hall basement.
Chair, the governor,
But you have to spend millions to make it ready.
The governor has hosted us in some of the rooms at City Hall. They have very high ceilings. I don't know why we need to demolish basements. And
There's
push that
nothing
machine
being
into one of
demolished.
those.
The 2.5 million is to create, to create space for it, at the basement. And all the printing requests,
Governor,
the printing needs
See those printing
sorry,
presses.
No, I think I want us to, Governor, please crack the whip on your team. This thing, you have inherited a skunk, but you are still carrying it around. You need to get rid of it. Because 51 million in 2016, obsolescence, whatever, if it's technology, if it had movable parts, if there's been no service, if it's not been used for that duration, you will go and repurpose your bed sitter, then you find that the thing is not working.
Yes, Chair, you can imagine an entire term of office of somebody and an MS and everything in between didn't even use these machines. This is from 16, 17. So 17, 18, 18, 19, these are, 51 million of Kenyans money, yet people are still printing things. In fact, you must check if there are printers who are connected to people who, get that contract to keep printing and make the machine deliberately not work, So what we're coming to do is to say, okay, look, we have these machines, can we make them work? Chair, when I got in our data center, for instance, had not been utilized. It was not being utilized. World Bank spent so much money in making us have a proper data center. Now that we've